I know what you're thinking. This is rage bait. This is such bait. 7. 7 out of 10. That's crazy. What did they give Demon Slayer? Let me check real quick. Okay, they gave it a 6. Okay, so, alright. So it's just slightly better than Demon Slayer. Jesus Christ, a 7? Okay, guys, if you don't know, IGN is a Western gaming news organization. Very popular. They usually do reviews for games or movies. And one of the things about IGN reviews is that some of them are pretty bad sometimes, and they get memed a lot. Now, generally a 7 out of 10 is good, and they say it's good. However, most Americans, a 7 is barely passing to a lot of people. A 7 is a C in a grade scale, in like a high school grade scale, which means most people assume 7 out of 10 is like, oh man, it's barely good. For me, when I reviewed this film, I gave it an 8. Without any bias, it would a solid 8. I wouldn't give it a 7. I don't even know why we'd get a 7. Now I know it's rage baiting. This is perfect for them. They're baiting me, and I'm falling for it. I'm gonna check out their review, and I'm gonna read it, and I'm gonna make up my decision whether it's a fair review or if it's bullshit. And they're just doing it to bait people. So don't go to their website. Just watch this video. Don't give them money, you can give me money. Also subscribe and like the video while you're at it. So this is a Chainsaw Man review by Raphael Motomayor. He also did Demon Slayer. So we got an anime critic in here. From the black and white opening scene that recreates the visuals of creator Tatsuki Fujimoto's manga, Chainsaw Man the movie, Reze Arc, promises a different kind of shonen action movie. One that plays and experiments with visuals and story. And while it accomplishes that for the most part, the worst thing about this movie is that it can at times feel safe in its action scenes. What the fuck does that mean? Feel safe in its action scenes. First of all, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I think all the action scenes were phenomenal. They were also very, very unique. Because, like, if you really paid attention to the action scenes, you had, like, there's probably going to be spoilers. I'm just going to say for Hank, if you haven't seen the movie yet, go see the movie. It's a good movie. But we're probably going to talk about spoilers in this video. Okay, the main thing about the action sequence is that you cannot tell me that you watched the last 40 minutes of this movie of straight action where the animators went all out, did all kinds of techniques to make the final fight between the Bomb Devil and Chainsaw Man absolutely and amazing. The whole Sharknado sequence, how is that safe? Reze firing missiles in a first-person view, how is that safe? That's definitely unique. You have, obviously there are scenes that are taken from the manga, but they expanded a lot. There's a lot of impact frames. That was not in the original season. Reze ripping off her head and throwing it as a grenade. That's not very safe. Okay. I'm already pissed off from that first sentence, man. That is such bullshit. This man has mastered the art of rage baiting. Okay. Much like the recent Infinity Castle movie, Reze Arc is both a canon continuation of an ongoing series and also technically a movie that regular moviegoers can see on the big screen. That's true. I've said that as well. It's a very self-contained story. So, taking a story that is told in chapters and stitching them together for a single movie is inherently going to lose something in translation. But the biggest problem with the Reze Arc is that it gives up interpreting the source material in lieu of a straightforward adaptation. Once the action kicks into full gear in the second half, it feels more like Anime Studios' Mappa's work on Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 than their work on the rather cinematic and experimental first season of Chainsaw Man, or even their masterpiece that was Vinland Saga Season 2. Alright, let's break this down. Yes, it's going to be awkward stitching a bunch of chapters and putting them in a single movie. I don't think it loses something in translation. I'm not sure what he meant by that. The only thing that does lose translation is probably the first 20 minutes, where you have no context. If you are a newbie, you have no context on who Makima was from Season 1. So that first part, where Denji is obsessed with this girl and then wants to go on a date with her, is going to be like, wow, Denji is kind of a simp. I don't even know who this girl is. So that one's kind of going to be lost in translation. The Reze Arc is something entirely new, and you don't need any prior knowledge of Season 1 to understand the story that's being told. So I don't understand why that's an issue. And I don't think that's the biggest problem. Gives up interpreting the source material in lieu of a straightforward adaptation. Was it really straightforward, though? Because, like, what does that even mean? Straightforward adaptation. Because arguably, I think he's saying that Season 1 took the source material and tried to make it something different, which is not true, it's still the same thing. It's very straightforward. They didn't change anything. There are no anime original scenes. There's no filler. I mean, there's like random filler scenes, but it's not like it doesn't detract from the source material. In fact, I would say that the first season, yes, it's very cinematic. Yes, it tries so hard to be like live action, and much to the dismay of like the Japanese audience who did not like it. I personally did not mind. I didn't really care for it, but you know, it was fine. The idea that this first season was more experimental is kind of insane because nothing about season 1 would... I think the biggest complaints for most people for season 1 was that it wasn't experimental enough. It held itself back. There was no experimenting with season 1 of Chainsaw Man. Alright, you can argue that, oh, well, the experimenting was that Ryo Nakayama, the director of season 1, did not want to make an anime like a typical anime, a shonen anime. He wanted to do something unique and cinematic, and, you know, it was a risk. People in the West kind of liked it because, I don't know why, Westerners are super obsessed with realism. I honestly think we need to get over the realism, because if I wanted realism, I'd fucking watch AI videos, my guy. I don't care for realism. I want fun. I want stylization. I want expressiveness. I want human. You know what I mean? I want flaws. Flaws are fucking awesome. But yeah, that's a crazy statement. That said, this is still the best case scenario for an anime arc movie so far, the best shonen series movies in years, and the feel-bad rom-com of 2025. That speaks to the strength of the source material, but also how much the story of Reze Arc further develops Denji as a character. From the very first episode of Chainsaw Man, we are quickly shown just how much Denji has to fight to survive, having lived in extreme poverty from a young age. His lack of social interaction and the very basic and instinctual lifestyle he leads has more in common with the devils he kills for a living than... Okay, we're just summarizing episode 1. Like, okay, bro. Denji literally cannot distinguish between pure sexual attraction and real love, having never experienced the latter, so when he meets a girl his own age, who doesn't just treat him as a pet, but seems enthusiastic about him... Yeah. You're okay, this is just summarizing the... The love story plot comes closest to replicating the slow burn, the meticulous attention to character acting, the deliberate silence, and the exploration of mundanity of the first season. Yeah, I mean, like I said, like the movie still borrows inspiration from Ryo Nakayama's direction from season 1, but adds in the quote-unquote anime, the manga that the Japanese fans want. So it's a combination of both styles, and it worked really well. This is the crux of the Reze Arc, and what makes it stand out as an anime... Okay. Yes, it's a self-contained story. That's fine. Yeah, okay. That's fine. And the lack of huge developments for the overarching hunt for the Gun Devil make the film quite standalone. Yes, so, yeah, like I said, this is its own thing. It's not about... There's not... Nothing... We don't talk about the Gun Devil. You know, we don't talk about anything that happens in season 1. It's just a love story between Denji and Reze. Yes, of course. The small glances and touches between Reze and Denji, the way his demeanor changes and becomes less agitated and aggressive, or even the way the screen bursts with color and the movie becomes much more vibrant the moment Reze comes into the story. These all help sell Denji's first love. Yes, I agree. I agree. It also doesn't hurt that Chainsaw Man, the movie, Reze Arc, features one of the best scores of the year, regardless of medium or genre. Kensuke Ushio did a good job. Yep, that's also good. I agree. The music was great. Then the horror begins. It's a testament to Ushio's score that it manages to set the tone switch so well with his whimsical, emotional tunes, quickly distorting into a synth-heavy rave straight out of Devil... Okay, yeah. Interrupted by a knife-wielding wielder. In an instant, the movie goes from rom-com to horror, the visuals shifting to something straight out of a David Fincher movie. The camera movement is like a handheld. Yep. Yeah. And yeah, that's something unique and experimental. Why the fuck are you complaining about not being experimental? What are you talking about? This whole sentence is rage bait. Where is it at? This whole sentence makes no sense. Rather than the cinematic experimental season of season 1, you say that, and then the first sentence says one that plays with experiments with visual and story. This guy is rage baiting me. He's rage baiting. He's saying something and then saying something else. What? That's what? I would not be good at debates, but even I noticed that doesn't make any sense. That is a flawed statement, I say. But yes, all that was unique. That's experimental. In a typical anime, it would have just been like a fucking wide shot static shot, reverse shot. But nah, dude, they made that shit look like a horror movie. It was good. The rest of the movie delivers on the chainsaw action and spectacle with loud colors, bombastic action, and an incredible sight of a man made out of chainsaws riding a shark into battle. By far the most ridiculous fun thing any shonen anime has done since Luffy's Gear 5 fight with Kaido. And yet, it is also where the film's flaws become more glaring. What? The fuck? With the focus on flashy imagery and the distracting use of big color splashes from the manga covers coming across as overstimulating to the point where the fight becomes hard to follow at times. The fights are still thrilling, but they are a big departure from the style of the first season and feel like they're playing it safe for a more mainstream theatrical crowd. Okay, I will give you that the fight is hard to follow at times. I give you that. But I don't think overstimulating is a problem. I don't think flashy imagery and distracting use of color splashes. Also, when was this? I don't remember that happening as often as he says. All right. What's wrong with flashy imagery? What's wrong with animators flexing that they can do impact frames? All right. I like this stuff. I don't remember any of this. And if that did happen, it was probably very rare. It didn't happen all the time. Overstimulating, yeah, I was also overstimulated during the Sharknado scene, but I like that. The fights are still thrilling, but they are a big departure from the style of the first season and feel like they're playing it safe for a more mainstream. I will say that it is funny to go from season 1 of Chainsaw Man, which was like, fight-wise, they were kind of realistic, even though it wasn't, but it tried to be realistic. And then in this one, it was like Shonen Dragon Ball Z, Bomb Devil flying around using her bombs to fly and do crazy attacks. Genji also flying around doing crazy attacks. Explosions everywhere. Collateral damage everywhere. It's crazy. Honestly, realistically, even if Ryu Nakayama did do the movie and he did try to make it cinematic, I don't think you could make that fight realistic at all. That's like a crazy battle fight. Though it loses some of the visual and narrative experimentations that made the first season so great, Chainsaw Man the movie Reze Arc makes the most. So wait. Okay, what is the complaint? I don't understand. So is your complaint is that it doesn't look like season 1? That you were expecting the same style, art style, and same like direction? You just wanted Ryu Nakayama. Because I don't really understand. Nothing that he said like warrants a 7 out of 10. Like he didn't really explain why. Like he explained that some of the fights were outlandish and it plays it safe, but I don't think that's true. I don't know, man. I was expecting better, to be honest. This is kind of a letdown. It's not even. It's like it was written with AI. I'll be honest. I feel like this was written by AI because like okay. So you start off with your like thesis statement. The worst thing about the movie is that it can feel safe in its action scenes. So that's his biggest complaint is the action scenes. But I don't understand why it's like, oh, this feels safe. Explosions happening everywhere. People dying. You know, Denji doing crazy shit. Sharknado sequence. How is that safe? I don't understand. If anything, this movie is more of an experiment because of season 1. It tried something different. That's what experimenting is. All right. If it was if it imitated the style from season 1, it would be then you can say it was playing it safe. But it tried something different. You know, we're not going to talk about the controversy of why it tried to do something different, but it tried something different. Yes, it does feel like it's just Jujutsu Kaisen season 2. But is that bad? I mean, you can argue, yeah, it's bad, but like, is it a 7 out of 10 bad? That's fucking crazy. Like, if anything, it seems like it would be an 8, but I feel like he gave it a 7 to get clicks. And it worked. I clicked on it. You shouldn't click on it, though. Don't click on it. Click on me. This is not a good review. I'm not gonna lie. But I don't blame him because, you know, IGN is like, these are quick reviews, you know? You gotta quickly get it out of the way. And I will say, when I did my review, there wasn't really much for me to talk about too. Like, I can analyze the whole story or whatever, but like, as a review, it's like, there's not much to the story. It's a love story. Denji meets Reze and they fall in love. And then they have to fight. because of a twist. And then this tragedy happens at the end where, you know, Reze fucking dies. And Denji's alone. It's tragic. It's sad. But the romance leading up to it is really wholesome. It's really well made. Also, how can you say that this movie is this anime isn't experimenting? Did you not watch the love scenes, dude? The pool scene? That was not that's definitely experimental. The festival scene where it became a Wong Kar-wai film for like a good few minutes? That's not safe. Like, I know it was in the manga, but like they expanded and made it better. You didn't even talk about the voice acting. The voice acting is so much better compared to season 1. I guess it does. I mean, he probably watched it Japanese, so you can't really gauge it. But like, if you watched it dub, it might sound better. Now I'm curious about like the English dub of season 1, whether it followed like Nakayama's direction of like being like very like soft and monotone-ish. I wonder if they did the same thing in the English dub season 1. I've never watched the dub, but I'm actually curious about it. If anyone watched the dub, let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, I don't like this review at all. Now, I don't want to send hate on the guy, but like, yeah, don't send hate on the guy. I don't think he deserves the attention. Send all your hate messages to my comment section so that I can get engagement and make money instead of him. Anyway, what did you guys think about the movie? Did you guys like it? Do you agree with the IGN review or not? Let me know in the comments down below. Like the video, make sure to subscribe and subscribe, and hope you have a good day. Watch the Chainsaw Man movie. Okay, bye.
100円ください。